What up? What up with you? Welcome to Phillies Not Included. We're on a different night tonight. Normally on Sundays we have some shit going, so we're jumping in on Monday. I'm gonna just jump right into the shit, bro. First off, how you doing? Let me get that established.
I'm blessed. I'm blessed,
All
man.
right, can't complain. So
Nope.
what I want to focus on today is at least to start, right? I want to focus on the craziness I'm seeing surrounding this LeBron James, Bronny James kind of shit that's going on. Like everybody's tripping that his dad got him used his power, his pull, his ability to pull this man into a league and on his team. He didn't get him first round or anywhere through the 54th round, right? You know what I'm saying? He didn't get moved to the front per se, but he did what we have been crying for decades about motherfuckers not doing. He looked out for his son.
Hmm.
He put his son on using his name, using his pool, using his reputation. The shit that we have watched for decades, other people who don't look like us do, and we ain't really raised a motherfucking a red flag or nothing to say this shit is wrong. Now everybody's talking about how wrong it is, and everybody who's talking about how wrong it is, not everybody, but the majority of people that's talking about how wrong it is, look just like LeBron.
Mm.
So I think, and this is my perspective, and I'm gonna turn it over to you. I think we have for so long not seen success between a black father and a black son that when we see it, it looks odd to us. So many of us are I think raised not respecting or expecting our father to look out for us that when we see it, this shit looks funny to me. Like for me, this is what I see more than anything else. I see a black man helping his black son succeed. And I see people who look like us like losing their shit about it. But I'm gonna turn it over to you, right? Because I know you got some shit to say. I can see it.
Yeah. Man, I hate that we have to talk about stuff like this because, again, it just is a reflection of just our condition, and we like to blame it on systemic oppression when it's really a choice at this point. Something similar happened when Ball was really heavily involved in his son's careers, right?
Yes, sir.
And we just had everybody, like you said, losing their shit about it. I do think it's a symptom of how we devalue the masculinity in our culture. I do think that it has a lot to do with how we don't see ourselves as a strong collective. So, like you said, when it is there, we have to sabotage the narrative. I don't care for the whole how the obsession of athletes and entertainers, but I get that's who we look to. So with that being said, I have absolutely no problem with what LeBron did, and in fact, I probably would have questioned him if he was the type of person to say, "Nah, I'm gonna make him earn it." Like what?
Right,
Like
right, right.
why? What this is not how this works. This is not how other cultures are in the position that they are. And I assure you that if you really examine the league itself, the connections between the people that are
100%.
are in that system, you're going to see so-called nepotism all throughout, right?
Everywhere. The back office. You know what I'm
But
saying?
I mean, even in a traditional job setting, I'm the CEO of the company. I'm absolutely bringing my son on board at a high level position, um, and it's because he is my son. Now, does that mean I'm going to disregard? Like he's not going to have to earn it. He's not going to have to work. Nah, it don't mean that. But from what I understand, this dude been working since he was a kid. You know what I mean? He
Right,
been
right.
so I mean, and what's crazy is that honestly, LeBron likely is leveraging some of his salary for his son in terms of salary cap, right? The roster spot that he's taken, it would likely not be in the consistent rotation, right? So it really wouldn't even matter.
Right.
He went 55th. There are other players that went earlier than him that had less in terms
The
of their
stats were lower.
their stats were lower, right? So this is literally just because it's LeBron.
I mean, I
And
I expect it from other people, bro. I literally expect it. I knew it was coming. I didn't expect it
I,
from
I
others.
don't understand why the man literally already said what his goal was, right? And for me, it's like this. Based on what he's done for the NBA, for the league, and not just the league, but I mean corporations
Right,
across the scope for the last 20 plus years,
right.
he
You owe
can
that
do
man.
you
You know
he
what
can
I'm
do what he
saying?
want. If he want to play with his other son,
Right. Let him,
whatever, you know what I mean? If he
because
I
somebody will.
I don't understand what the problem is. These are his children.
The crazy part is the problem ain't with the rich folk, right? They understand that shit. They're like, yeah, that's what the fuck we do, right? It's. I look at it and I think it's jealousy, right? Because your daddy didn't do shit to get you right, so you mad at this man's dad, like that crab in a bucket mentality. Like this is the ultimate way out of that shit. Like, and I'm pulling up, and we can agree or disagree. He's done a lot. He's tried to do a lot for the community compared to some other basketball players who are in the same positions. Was everything successful? Nah. But you know what? I give a motherfucker points for trying. But this one right here is the most successful shit he's done. He's got his son in a position to win. Now, granted, his son was going to win the rest of his life anyway, but he's got a chance to earn it for the next generation and so forth.
But the
But
aesthetic of it is just, I'm saying he's, one thing I say this dude has done his entire career is spoke to how proud he is to be a father to his children and to be a husband to, and a father, for his family. I think that this is the epitome of how we should be with our sons. And so the aesthetic of it is exactly what we need, but we just reject it. I just don't think that we see ourselves in that way.
so that, like, what is it? Why are we so anti-success that when we see an opportunity, right? And again, I don't care if you're a politician, if you're a doctor, lawyer, whatever your shit is. When I see somebody who is successful with all the obstacles that we've had. I'm not talking success like you didn't go to jail. I'm talking about uber success. You've made it out and you're in a position where your family may never have to go through this shit again. Right? I'm gonna big up you, whether I agree with you or not, because their process, right, is what the fuck we're supposed to be doing. Um, we just I'm trying to understand what is it that makes us so mad at us, right? And I'm gonna take it a different direction. I've watched us march, right? And for somebody who was killed by somebody who didn't look like us, right? We march, we do all this crazy shit, and the family gets in court and be like, "I forgive you, I love you," you know what I'm saying? Blah blah blah. But if I did it to somebody who look like me, bro, my whole family at risk, right? There's no forgiveness. Like I'm not gonna blame that on oppression. I'm not gonna blame it on racism. We past that. And what I mean by past that is most of us are at an age where we can think for ourselves, right? Yes, we are products of our environment to a certain extent. But if everybody in that environment don't turn out the same way, everybody don't have to turn out the same way,
Right.
right?
Right.
So I'm struggling, bro, because I'm looking at this shit. And I'm like, maybe I'm not a Jordan fan, right? I'm not taking away from his shit, bro. Bro was I'm gonna say one of the greats. He ain't my greatest, but he was one of the greats. But I look at what his son did, and we all had fun with it, right? Nobody was really mad at Michael Jordan's son for dating his mama's friend. You know what I'm saying? His daddy's former partner's ex-wife, right? The kids he grew up with's mom. You know what I'm saying? Like, nobody gave him a hard time. And whether we agree or not, nobody really gave Magic Johnson's son a hard time. Or Magic. Or Dwayne Wade. But this motherfucker doing the most right shit you can do, and we like, nah, he can't do that. That's fucked up. He only doing it because it's his dad. Like, are you that mad at your pops, bro? Or your mom, goddamn it, down, bad talk him so much that you can't see the shit you supposed to do for your own?
Yeah, I don't think that I think that all we know is competition. That's why we obsessed with sports, right? It's always about competition. So when you see someone, or like a father in this case, uplift his son and his family to success without competition, then it offends you because you can't see it any other way. You don't believe in privilege, and I believe in privilege. I wouldn't mind if everybody had privilege, but I know that Whatever I work for, I want my children to benefit from that, to
100%.
supersede anything. Why would I want them to have to go the same? Ain't that going backwards? You go get to it. I went from the front of the line or from the back of the line all the way to the front, light years ahead. And then I'm gonna tell my son, you go start at the back of the line.
Right. You earn his head start.
Absolutely the fuck not. Get
Right.
up here and be ready. That's all I ask you to do is be ready. But we
I'm gonna give
don't.
you this opportunity. You got to score with it.
Yeah, that's it. And all you have to do is just compete and sustain. Just work hard. Really, just work hard.
Right.
You know,
You
like
could be garbage, but if you're giving your best every day, goddamn, that's all I can ask for.
right, because guess what? He's not the worst player in the NBA
By far.
and I think that also people have this unrealistic expectation that he is supposed to be on the same level as his dad. When the fact of the matter is, nobody on this planet
It's on that level.
they're just not. I mean, I
Right.
know they used to be able to say that there were players that could play just as good as, if not better than Michael Jordan or whatnot, right? But I'm saying that in per his prime and even where he's at now, there is no other player on this planet that is as good. So I'm saying to expect that his children to be that
Right.
it's just unfair and unrealistic. As long as they are decent players and they're gonna work hard and they can get in there and compete, then they deserve a spot there because he has carried that very league. He should actually have ownership in the shit. Really.
Man. I mean,
You know what I'm saying? So
that's crazy though, right? Because like motherfucker, well, LeBron, he getting paid too much. Like if I can pay you $1 billion, I'm making more off you than that.
no, he's not getting paid enough.
Right. That's what I'm saying. I'm getting money from you. So that's business. Whatever somebody pays you, you're absolutely worth more.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. Everybody knows that except us, right? I
It's
mean,
fucking crazy,
and
bro.
we come on now, like
I'm trying to figure it out. Like okay, fuck where we went wrong. When do we go right? Right? Like and I'm talking this collective because we have issues with everything. I'm late to the game on some shit. I'm gonna deviate a little bit. There's this fucking TikTok video, bro. It's a family. Right? Now I will admit I have an extremely diverse family. Extremely diverse. So this video didn't really stand out to me, right? But people lost their shit. It was a black couple, older black couple, 8 black sons, 7 of them married interracially, 1 married black woman. Grandchildren, every motherfucker happy. People lost their shit. I'm like, bro, okay, granted, it don't look like the family maybe this person wants or that person wants, but that's a happy family. Like, why can we change to be happy for whatever? Like, I don't give a fuck. Whatever your definition of happiness is or love or family, I want you to have it. It don't got to be my version, right? But it was I saw 8 black men that were happy as fuck, who were in their children's lives, who had their parents able to see their grandchildren and take pictures and have fun, and motherfuckers just complaining about the makeup of the family. I'm like, I understand you don't gotta want that, right? You don't have to want it, but don't be mad because somebody else do. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just like and we talked about this a little bit last week. Mediocrity. It's like we want the worst. I had a motherfucking conversation, and bro, I'm gonna start bringing these group motherfuckers. I'm gonna start sharing these motherfucking group posts. This, somebody said, why would you want to be a baby mama instead of a wife? And motherfuckers was in there bragging like, I'd rather be a baby mama. I'm like, who in the fuck has that goal? Like, and they start throwing the stats out. Well, 41% of marriages fail. Cool. Be in the 59. I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's crazy how I want to say we conditioned, but I don't want to give away the power to say we conditioned, right? There's conditions that we grew up in, but ain't nobody running around here eating shit off the floor either, right? Like we know right from wrong.
I think but there is some truth to us being a conditioned people. Like we can talk about how we got conditioned or whatever, but I just think that there is a weird obsession and inferiority that we have when it comes to so-called white people. And I'm saying as a collective, not all of us,
Right, right. I'm with you.
but it's just something about how we are with other races in general versus our own selves. I do not think that there will ever be a such thing as a collective with so-called black people in America. I think that there needs to be clear lines drawn between us as a people. We are nowhere near monolithic. In no way are we monolithic.
Right.
Ideally, we should be monolithic in the vein of economics and political science, right? But we are not, and we will never be. I think that we need to acknowledge that and really start having a conversation about what type of so-called black person are you, or am I, or are we? There are now subcultures, and there are just certain types of black people that are against progress. They don't see it for the culture. It'll always be a problem with those of us who want to be better, who see ourselves in a high regard. I mean, you know this already. Like I'm
Right.
saying,
Right.
if I was to right now, if I was to get online and say, I am the best at anything, somebody that looks like me is going to be offended, and it's going to be somebody who probably knows me. You know what I
Right. Somebody
mean?
who probably know you better
Yeah,
at that.
yeah.
Right.
If I was to get on there and say, "Hey, these are some of my favorite artists," from the city of South Bend, right? It's going to be people that are offended by their names not being mentioned, rather than appreciate the fact that I'm spreading positive energy. It's going
Right.
to be
Right.
people that feel entitled to your opinions, your own personal feelings. And I'm saying that is a sickness. And I just think we are a sick group of people, from a collective standpoint. Not all of us. There are plenty of us that are just living out like you don't see that, like what you see on social media is not black people. It's a certain type of black people.
It's niggas, bro. I'm gonna
Yeah.
say it. I'm gonna say it. It's cool. Right.
Yeah,
Listen,
but it's a certain type of nigga, because
right. But
I know niggas. I know real niggas. Like, there's always gonna be in that vein of, like, just being a nigga, right? But they still stick to a certain code.
cold.
You
Right.
know what I'm saying? And I can respect it, because I think that if you come from that, you may actually need that energy depending on what situation is
Where
you
you
are.
at?
You
Right.
know what I'm
Right. Right.
saying? But it's a certain type of nigga that is just a hateful ass,
It's
envious ass, emotionally unintelligent ass.
it's scary, bro.
Just, yeah,
Like
it's
I've seen it in all aspects of life. Right. Where you help a motherfucker out and you become their target. Right. Like they say, don't bite the hand that feeds you. This motherfucker's out. Like, bro, and especially in that street shit. The higher you get, the more likely one of your motherfucking homies, your friends, your buddies, your guys, is gonna be the one to end you, whether it be put you away or put you in a box, right?
Yep.
It's the competition. Like I'm when I was younger, right? I was different when I was younger, right? I was more aggressive, more I'm gonna say militant, right? In a certain way. And I would ask people, why are y'all not going to these white neighborhoods and breaking and stealing and burning shit where they got all the money? You over here tearing up the shit where you stay. Right? Like, this shit didn't make sense to me. I should have been like, hey, this shit is stupid no matter where you do it, right? Because I was young and dumb. But I was like, man, if you're gonna do some dumb shit, why are you tearing up the shit where you at? Why are you trying to steal from places that are trying to sell shit in your neighborhood when nobody else wants to be here? Like, it's some shit that we, and I say we, you know what? I'm not saying all of us by any means, right?
yeah, yeah.
And it sucks that I have to say that every fucking time. But it's so much shit that so many of us do that drives me crazy. And I'm like, man, what is pushing this shit? What continues to make this shit the normal for so many people? I can try my ass off to get a group of 35 people to go on a motherfucking vacation 10 years from now, and 25 of them ain't gonna show up and ain't even gonna go, right? 9 might not fuck with me. But if I said, hey, let's go fuck some shit up, I can get 3,000 motherfuckers with me that I don't know, ain't never seen, and never talked to. I just got to make a post. Hey, we finna go steal some shit from downtown Chicago. It'll be 100,000 motherfuckers down there.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Like, that's crazy to me.
Yeah.
Like, that shit is insane. Like, what is it? And I'm a man. I used to be online arguing like a motherfucker, telling them, you racist motherfucker, this, that, and the other. And I'm going through these fucking, especially on Twitter, bro. I'm going through this shit. I'm like, man, we got to stop putting this shit out there. Fight, bro. Pride Festival in was it Houston or San Francisco? One up, bro. Crowd scrapping. I'm like, that ain't normally what they do, right? I'm like, crowd scrapping. I started looking at the crowd. I saw the little video on Twitter. I'm looking at the crowd. I'm like, man, that crowd real dark. Right? I'm like, we act like, damn, bro, there too. Like, it's just there was, it's. I don't know. I'm concerned. I'm lost.
Well, I just think that anytime, I don't think that we have much to celebrate. So when we join these, I guess these celebrations that are rooted in agenda, then the trauma is going to show itself. So I don't think I would expect that type of stuff wouldn't be abnormal to me. I think the abnormal part is that we collectively play crazy, like we act like this is not happening. We act like, like when a kid loses his life, we act like it's so sad. I'm like, we can't believe this is sad. You can't believe this is
Right? Because
sad.
we let it happen all
Well,
fucking
yeah,
day.
I mean, come on, like these are literally our children, right? We're like, right now you have literally thousands of children right now out in the streets right now, right? Just and they should not, like, children shouldn't even have the authority that they have in their lives,
Right.
like
The freedom.
they
You're
just
not free as a
you
fucking
know
kid, bro. You're not supposed to be.
Nah, yeah, I mean, so I'm like, we allow this to happen, or we will just, or we ignore, like we can be amongst children acting a fool. We don't have um, we don't value our positions as elders enough to even address them.
Bro, excuse me for interrupting. I don't think we can anymore. Right? You say something to one, is you little young, like, fuck you, old man, or fuck you. You know what I'm saying? Now
Yeah,
you in it with us.
when one person or two people says it, but if the
If the whole
elders,
collective,
they can't no fucking kids run the show unless we
they
let
can't
them.
run the show, bro, but they shoot without regard. Motherfuckers want to get home. Right?
That's
That's the problem. We want to get
once
home.
again, because we have allowed them to have this level of authority that they actually do not have. If children don't have, like, legally, children don't have the authority
Right.
that we have. You know what I mean? Like, collectively, we can deal with them, and if we wanted to collectively, if we agreed across the culture that there's going to be a concerted effort to get our children under control, it can happen. What can they do? Either get down, or,
Or lay down,
or
goddamn
lay
it.
down. It's just what it's
Right.
going to be. You know what I mean? Because we don't care as a collective, then society doesn't care, and that's how they handle them.
Here's what I think. Here's why I think. Obviously, we know that ain't gonna work, right? Because we're not gonna do it. But there's two. The problem is, let's say all of us as older men got together and said, "Listen, we're gonna try to straighten these kids up." Their mama's gonna talk shit, right? Like, there's no the balance. The kids are just byproducts of fucked up adults.
Yeah, but again, if the men collectively said that this is what we doing, then the mothers couldn't do shit about it. But get them, you know what I mean? And I think
Right.
they would
We
want
ain't
to,
we ain't
right?
fucking. We ain't paying for shit. We ain't
Yeah,
cutting shit.
yeah.
We ain't fixing
Oh,
shit.
this is what the fuck if we took our rightful position in our culture, then this would all be handled. You know what I mean? But we
You know,
won't do that.
I have this conversation with one of my homies where, you know what I'm saying, I try to explain to him because he's like, man, if we did this, if we got rid of these motherfuckers, I'm like, bro, if you took 10 of the weakest men you could find and put them on an island with 20 women, one of them weak motherfuckers is going to become the powerful man on that island, right? Somebody, instead of working together, right, a motherfucker's going to take, and where I'm going with this is, when you don't have something and you get an opportunity to work with people to get it, motherfuckers don't do it. Not us. We want it all. Right, instead of that collective division of resources, of property, of finances. Like, I have Hispanic homies, bro, 10, 15 motherfuckers that live in the house and work together with their families, and the house gets bigger, and then they go back to Mexico or wherever the fuck they from, right? And live like kings and queens, and the families living good, and everybody's in one big ass house or in a community where, the neighbors and shit, they are each other's neighbors. Right? We can't do that, bro. And
I mean, we won't
we
do
have
it.
the capability.
Yeah, we won't do it.
But we know, and it's fucked up that we know it, right? Like, we know somebody gonna do some fuck shit, which means we need to pull our shit out before the fuck shit happen, right? Which is gonna start the whole collapse of the shit.
I mean, but you just gotta. I mean, once again, look at the reality of, like, and all I see is men having a problem with what LeBron is doing for his
100%. I've
son,
seen one
right?
woman complain. I don't even think they give a shit.
Actually, the women I've seen speak on it is like, I don't understand what the problem is as well. You know what I'm saying? So for me, I just think that if we can't even agree that, hey, that's fire what he did for his son collectively, then this is where we are at collectively. That's why, but because there is a lot of us that are saying like you and I, like, man, I don't what the like that's fire what he
Right.
did, right?
Yeah.
I love that energy. I love the look. You know, I mean,
Absolutely.
I'm not a huge LeBron fan, but I mean, I love that aesthetic, like a man, because that just a man who looks like us flexing his power and authority
That's
to
exactly what that shit.
to get to uplift his sons. Hey, like, man, so you can't do nothing but salute it.
Right. Look, I could almost co-sign with the bullshit if he went first round, first pick. Right. I'm like, all right, you doing too much.
Hey,
Right.
I no, but
But I'd be
I
okay
would,
with it. But I'd be
I
like,
would.
bro, on the low, I'm like,
Yeah, we can call it what it is, right? I'm not saying you
right.
don't call it what it is, but I'm saying shit. So
I mean, I can,
do
like I
that
said, I can
shit.
almost understand. I say almost, right? But you touched on something, and I know, and you're right. I wanted to go back to that. You said there's a lot of brothers that's looking at this and saying it's fire. I have noticed when I look at the people who are complaining, I look at the rest of the shit, and I'm like, oh yeah, you just one of them, right? You don't want anything positive. It's the consistent, constant bashing of black women. I see the same motherfuckers make the same posts every day, and I'm like, damn, bro, who again, especially if all you fuck with is black women, bro, how are you just demolishing them every motherfucking day? Like if I constantly talk shit about a certain type of person, I can't really appreciate one of them if I get one, right? Because my mind has been conditioned by myself, right? I've conditioned myself to expect the worst, and
Yeah, I think that means you're an abuser.
no doubt, right? I think I don't know, bro. I'm just
If you go out of your way to bash the only woman that you deal with, then you're an intention, you're an abuser. I mean, I'm saying you are dealing with the women that you hate, and if you're dealing with a woman that you hate,
it
it's
ain't gonna go
because
well,
you want to be an abuser.
right?
Like, that's just, as I wouldn't, if I literally thought that, man, yeah, black women, it just ain't shit. You're not finna catch me with one. You know what I mean?
In,
If I
in
really,
no
if I
form or
really,
fashion.
you know what I mean? I just know better, right? I know that there is, once again, there is a good version of any type of person or a group
Absolutely.
of people, and there is a trash version of it. So if and I know also it would be a reflection of me if I said that all black, because I mean every black woman that I dealt with,
Right. That's where
man,
I
I'm just
real
I
shit.
got a certain type, right? So you know what I mean, like, and it's too many different types of so-called black women for you to even make that statement. It could never be true. Like, we
Man.
have to know better, right?
I said that on one of the homies' posts. He said something along the lines of talking about women. I'm like, have you ever thought this maybe motherfuckers keep going after the same type of woman and expecting her to be something different? Like, you can't. If I run across the worst of anything consistently, I got to be a part of that fucking group, bro. Like, why is there so many present in my life? You know what I'm saying? Why am I around so many people that fit this constantly? Like, I understand on social media we interact with various people, but if what in my real life experiences, if I can't meet a decent woman, I'm doing something wrong,
Right.
right?
It is not hard to meet a decent woman.
No,
It's
and
not hard.
bro, here's where I'm at, and it drives me crazy. I hear motherfuckers say all day, it's a million good men and very few women. I'm like, bro, how are you determining a good man? Right? To me, a good man is determined by a woman. And what I mean by that is a good mate, not a good individual, but a good mate for a woman. I can't look at my guy and be like, he's a great mate, right? Me and my wife was having this conversation the other day. I got a homie, I ain't gonna say his name. Nicest motherfucker you will ever meet on the street. Worst motherfucker to ever have a girlfriend. Worst motherfucker, right? But if you don't know this dude, you like, man, this is a great guy. My whole growing up, I'm like, this is a great dude. And then I saw what happened when he got a girl or a girl he liked and it didn't work. Right? It's a different motherfucker. Right?
Yeah.
And then as we continued to get older and he continued to have interactions with women and it didn't go his way, this shit got crazy. Right? And I'm like, oh shit, bro. This nice guy shit is it's the public persona. But when the shit don't go your way in a relationship, you can't handle rejection and your emotions are fucked up. Right? To the point where one day, him and his girl going through some shit, his ex, whatever. Bro, like, I'm gonna kill myself. I'm like, what the fuck, bro? You got kids. I'm like, and if you kill yourself, she's smashing somebody in your bed tonight. That's what I said. Oh, what kind of homie, what kind of motherfucking friend are you? I said, the one that's gonna tell you the truth, bro. She don't give a fuck about you. What you gonna jump off some shit and fuck your kid's life up? Cause this chick don't want to be with you no more? Right? And
which,
I'm just like,
which would justify her position.
100%. Right?
So
100%. And that's what I try to explain. I'm like, y'all tell me these chicks is crazy, and then you go do some public crazy shit. And I'm like, regardless of how fucked up she might have been, you just justified every bullshit story she made up or that she told.
you know what? The reality is we shouldn't even have so many experiences that we can even form an opinion on a collective, right? We shouldn't be able to say, man, all these bitches, like if you are literally from relationship, you got that many relationships, that many experiences, then you are being reckless.
Comment
You know
out,
what I
or
mean?
you were a problem for sure.
Right. And because for me, I'm never going to get to the point where I'm even going to assess the idea or even entertain the idea that there's a lot of good dudes out here and not that many good women. Like, man, I don't know what type of niggas is out here because I ain't
Right,
focused on that. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
all I need is really one woman to start off with. You know what I mean? Like, at least one. I know that there are plenty out there that'll do. I know that. I don't have to have several experiences to know that. I just got to know who I am, know what I need, and deal with whatever I need to deal with within myself, and put myself in environments that where healthy people reside, and I'll be all right. I have my pick. You know what I mean? That's how I look at it. If I'm turning around and, man, all these bitches ain't shit, I'm I'm I'm
You
sick.
picking them.
Yeah,
Right.
I'm a
So
terrible. You know,
again, I don't even think they're bad judge of character, bro. I think they want hoes not to be hoes. Right? You look at a chick, she fits your physical desire. You're like, she should be a good woman. Like, bro, she's not. Don't matter what she should be, right? Like
has
we
nothing to do with anything really.
nothing to do with anything, right? But it's like I want her, but I also want her to be better. That's not who she is. Right? So then you go
Yeah,
fall in love with the chick. Like, and I
yeah,
told you, I had a homie. I'm like, bro, don't fall in love with her. She a hoe. She'll tell you that's not my words, they're her own. Head over heels. I'm like,
yeah,
bro, what?
yeah.
What? Oh man, you ain't gonna do shit. Listen, bro, you're not special, right? You are currently in that position. That's not a permanent position. You know what I'm saying? You finna argue and debate with other motherfuckers because your girl, as you call her, is in the presence of other men pretty regularly. Like that's your fault, right? First time
Mhm.
in on you, right? I'll give anybody that. There's nothing you can do to stop a motherfucker from hitting you in the mouth one time, bro. If you ain't looking, you know what I'm saying? There's nothing you can do. But if you keep getting hit, that's on you. But it's the way I look at it is I said this a couple weeks ago. I think a lot of men are emotionally attracted to other men. When I hear dudes talking about, oh man, there's so many good dudes, I'm like, bro, how do you know?
That's
Like
what I don't
what makes
understand
that
that.
dude a? Don't get me wrong. I know there's a lot of good people who are men. There's a lot of good people who are women. But when you say this is a good dude, like in regards to women should want to date him and procreate with him, I'm like, you don't know shit about him unless you've been laying with this motherfucker, right? Like, what is he like when the relationship ain't right?
Man, that's what I'm saying. I don't know, man. All I know is who I am, and and because I know who I am, I know anybody I associate myself with is solid. And that's because I know who I am.
100%.
I don't take it past that, and I know everybody's different in their intimate relationships. You might be solid with me, but I don't know who you are in your relationship with your partner. And you don't
Right.
know who I am. It's
100%.
everybody gonna get a different side of because your relationship is specific to you and that individual. Like we all
Yeah.
have different relationships with everybody. Like everybody has a different relationship with me. Who I am to you is very different than who I am with my mate. You know what
And
I'm
it's
saying?
supposed to be,
Right. So
right?
it is. I just think that we do not adhere to accountability.
Not at
So
all.
it's always going to be about projection. That's why when we talk about this, the idea when we see a so-called black man do right by his son, we we can't see we have to label it nepotism, right?
Fuck it. If it is, that's okay.
Okay, yeah, I mean like is nepotism. I mean because we all do it. You know what I
Bro,
mean?
this
Like
country
we
was founded on it. There are people who are still benefiting from their great 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 grandfathers not having to pay for labor. You know what
Right.
I'm saying?
And this is what we be crying about, right? But
This is what we
why
want.
Why is it a problem when he do it, but it ain't a problem with
because
JP Morgan Chase and
right,
all that? Man, come on, man.
because if we see it, we can no longer say it's not possible. And then we take away the ability to be a victim. We fucking love to be victims. Bro, I'm starting to sound like an old racist white man. I be like, God damn, motherfuckers got to
No,
stop.
but you don't sound like an old. That's what we like to call them old race
Right,
white
right. But I'm
people.
just
But
saying,
a lot of these just be people who see shit for what it is, like looking
I can't lie no more,
maybe at
bro.
other races and be like, come on, like are y'all serious? You know what I
Bro,
mean? Like y'all want to keep
I realized I cannot pretend that whatever you doing is okay because you look like me. I'm not. I'm just not doing it. There's no fucking justification, bro. There's no excuse for it. I'm not gonna make one. Yes, life was hard, right? Yes, we have obstacles, but everybody got fucking obstacles, right? Our obstacles are different, but so is our ability, right? So is our resilience. So I think one not necessarily offsets the other, but there's no motherfucking excuse to go 13 motherfuckers beat up on somebody or shoot and take somebody's life. Like this shit is crazy. And I'm sitting back and I'm looking and I'm arguing with my damn self, bro. I'm like, man, I feel like I'm an old racist dude because I'm looking. I'm like, why is he? What? I can't defend the actions.
You know what's crazy about the whole thing with the LeBron situation is that when you look at the history of that team, that organization, that was built by Dr. Jerry Buss. Like, what do you think? Do you think that he had to go find people that's been in an organization or that is, like other people to take over that team? No, he handed it off to his children.
Right.
That's
Every
his,
fucking owner does that doesn't sell a company. That doesn't
right.
sell the
So
you know what I'm saying, the business or the franchise.
should he have told his no? You need to go buy your own team. You need to work your way up to
Bro,
nah.
we would have been mad at him if he did.
That's what I'm saying. That's like what like we would have been saying that don't make no sense.
Here's what it is. Here's what I think. It just popped in my head, so I'm gonna spit it out. We don't have anything where we can say, well, I'm talking about as a collective. My father was one. My grandfather was one. My great grandfather was one. We don't have that, right? I look at some other cultures. They, Italians got, I got a homie. His grandfather was a police officer. His daddy was a police officer. He's a police officer, right? That's their legacy. That's what they're gonna do. Yeah, and that's my thing, right? But we don't have any kind of legacies.
Right. Because
So when we see, right, we see that we don't know how to respond. We look at ourselves in like we're inferior, right? We have no like. If you talked about this, I think it was last week. Entertainers, sports, entertainment, whatever. That's what we do, right? Like if you were to just pop up and ask anybody, hey, what's the Black Americans known for? Sports, rap, music, entertainment, right? I used to get so fucking mad at these McDonald's commercials because when they had black people, it was singing and dancing. Like, I done ate way too much fucking McDonald's. I ain't never sang on the way. You know what I'm saying? Or in the store. Like, that shit appeals to us. And that shit drives me crazy.
right, because that's the only thing we respond to. It ain't like we would rather blame people for dealing with us in that way than to accept the fact that this is the only way that they can deal with us.
We don't, I mean, we respond to.
This we respond to.
We,
We right now we will go. You will see a parent. I see a lot of so-called black mothers will literally spend they last $100-$200 to buy their child an outfit to be able to go in here and shake their ass in front of for a talent show and take every picture and post it. Or I see so-called black fathers who will, like every bit of their reinforcement to their son is him doing, playing, putting his all into basketball or football.
everything, bro.
Like
Like, if
that's
that shit don't work, he fucked.
right. So to me, this is why I don't have a problem with what LeBron is doing. Cause get to the front of the line, do this, and if you ain't successful at it, go off and do or let's get it out the way. This may
Right, you
not
did
be
it,
your,
though.
you know what I mean. So like, why would I have you go the long way just to get somewhere and say cause let me my thought is this: what is the benefit of Bronny being just as successful as his dad in the NBA? They already done that.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Like him getting there, I understand. I think this is really more so about, legacy for LeBron than anything. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I understand it, but I don't think that we have a culture of strong men creating legacy. So we just give our children these weird freedoms of go out here and do whatever it is you want to do.
Man,
What
with no responsibility, no requirements to meet.
we don't have that privilege though. Like you ain't created a space for your children to go out here and be whatever it is they want to be. You know who people who've created that will be somebody like a LeBron James or
Right, right,
or Jay-Z or whatever that
right.
literally have the resources for their children to be whatever they want to be, right?
Hmm.
I mean, whether I'm a fan of them or not, that's the
It's
reality of it.
reality,
But
right?
the average so-called black person has not. We don't create the spaces for our children to be whatever they want to be. We create the space for our children to be whatever society depicts them that as, which is just athletes and entertainers, or out in the street somewhere.
We would rather laugh at one another than look up at one another, right? Like I'm gonna go back to Michael Jordan's son, right? Like, bro, that should have never been some shit that was accepted, right? But motherfuckers just like, oh man, I understand she bad. This that. Like, but do you realize, bro, the shit that, like, first off, she was probably present when that motherfucker was born, which is weird as shit to me. You know what I'm saying? But again, like, pops didn't. I needed Jordan to do something about that. Right? You should have stepped in and I don't give a fuck.
But just think, was Jordan ever? Did he ever put fatherhood on a pedestal throughout
Nah,
his whole
bro. He
career?
wasn't.
Nah,
He ain't family oriented. He
he
was
wasn't
about. He
like
was
that.
about money. I
Yeah.
I've
Look,
probably seen Michael Jordan more times at a casino than I have at an NBA game. Right now, granted, I ain't been to a lot of NBA games, but I ain't been to a lot of casinos either. Right?
yeah.
I've never seen. I don't think I ever seen a family like really a family photo of Jordan. He was about
Yeah.
Jordan.
And I'm gonna tell you why. LeBron's wife is actually his high school sweetheart. Jordan's wife was a so-called model that he ended up getting pregnant, and because of how bad it was going to look as far as Nike, his
Right.
corporate
Right.
sponsors, he had to end up going ahead and going and marrying her. And I know this because the journalist who reported on it, who was there, had came to my school. When I was doing my degree in journalism, the guy that wrote Jordan Rules, who Jordan don't like to this day, because he was he was telling all the things that he saw, like he the real version of
Right. Right.
who Jordan, because we didn't have social media, so he was what social media really is today. So his, like I said, and that's just his. You can do the research really and see it and find it out and see it now. But his wife Juanita wasn't somebody that he was really involved with, like in love with. He just got her pregnant, and he had to basically marry her to keep his endorsement. And
Right.
so there really wasn't no. It just really was no family foundation like LeBron's is. There was really real love. It's built on love, and that's the
Right. Right.
difference.
And I agree with you on that one, right? Because in fairness, I don't even remember. I've seen a lot of Jordan photos, videos, games, TV. I ain't really see a lot of his wife. Right? Everywhere LeBron at, his wife there. Right? Damn near. You know what I'm saying? Like she's with him. Right? It's about family,
It's clear it's about family, right?
and there's no scandals, bro. And they want them bad. Right? Motherfuckers can't wait. Instagram model said LeBron was in her DMs. Maybe the motherfucker responded to some shit she said. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, it's we want. And again, I'm biased because I'm a huge LeBron fan, but taking his name out of it, it's just crazy that we don't want to support fathers helping their children be successful, right? And I think he's
Yeah.
going to. I don't think the basketball shit is. He ain't gonna be 20 years in the league. He's gonna be enough to learn how to manage his money and start his own business, right? Like his daddy got business, he brought his boys. You know what I'm saying? Like that motherfucker has done everything we supposed to do. He brought his homies with him, right? Who, if it wasn't for him, probably wouldn't even be shit, right? You know what I'm saying? Made his boy his agent, who didn't have experience. Now he's one. He getting paid doing his own shit without not necessarily without LeBron. You know what I'm saying? But he's established.
Yeah.
This dude has done what we are supposed to do. He's done what we do it in the dope game, and everybody love it, right? Like we and bro, bro, I want to talk about some shit, but I don't. So when we shut it down, I'm gonna steal 5 minutes from you. To talk about the fuck shit that we really do support, right? I'm thinking about how the streets work, and we love to bring people into some bullshit, right? We will go recruit motherfuckers who are living the right life. Like, man, come on, get on there, knowing we finna fuck they shit up. But when somebody recruits their own child to do something great, bro, it's we hate on it.
I look, it's the culture. They despise what LeBron is doing, but they embrace a sexy red. And this
Man,
is
the future,
clearly,
right?
yeah, future. These are clearly people who didn't have healthy fathers to guide them, right? Because they could have been, because had they had the healthy fathers, they who they are in entertainment, they would have been that maybe in another form, right? In a healthier form, they would have. Because I'm not going to dismiss the brilliance in us as entertainers and athletes, right? I just think it's misguided, and I think we bigger than just that. So I'm saying that a lot of times these people be intelligent, but because all they seen themselves were athletes and entertainers, that's the path they went. And in that industry, in those industries, we know that you're going to lose a part of yourself in those industries, in those spaces, because that's what it's
Right,
really
right.
about. It's what it's built on. But if you had a healthy father to guide that energy and guide that intelligence, then you likely would have been, like I said, an engineer or architect or some kind of scientist, right? And I'm saying, but we don't see ourselves as that. That's why you're going to have people defend and celebrate, hypersexual women in entertainment. You're gonna see them really idolize us under the imagery of dope boys, gangsters, all that weird shit that we know that we really know nothing about, right? Like
We
when
ain't
you
winning in that shit either,
like
right?
it's
We're the
not
low man
even
on the
real.
totem pole.
Like you don't even know what a mob really is. You know what I mean? Like
Right, right.
these motherfuckers is the judges and the prosecutors and the politicians. You know what I mean? Like they play a whole different game. That low level shit that we do in rap music, it ain't that's just it's really a weird facade that's created by just these black exploitation narratives that we've been okay with since the beginning of entertainment.
I mean, we seek this shit out, bro. Like, we are drawn to the fuck shit, right? And I struggle because, again, I think I put too much effort into wondering why in the fuck people are doing this shit, right? Instead of just saying, you know what, fuck them, right? Because there's no saving. You can't save everybody.
Nope.
And I'm at that point where I only want to save the people who are looking for help, right? I'm not even. I know you have knowledge. I know you have capability, but if you don't want to do shit with it, I'm not trying to even encourage you no more. That's where I'm at. My time is limited, right? I'm 48 years old, bro. I don't got 48 left, right? I'm just keeping it real. Chances are I don't got 48 left. I'm spending these last ones more wisely. I met with I had a homie, man. Him and his wife probably been together damn near as long as me and my wife. They started dating in high school or right after. He hit me up. He said, "Hey man, my son is interested in technology. Would you mind talking to him?" Man, bro, have him hit me, email me, text me. I said, man, and I had him. He popped in my office earlier this week or last week, and we rapped. Like that. That's the kind of shit I'm on. You want to do something, right? My guy helped his son out, right? Plugging him up. Now, I ain't no guarantee the shit gonna go nowhere, but that was the right move,
Yeah. He
right?
leveraged his position.
He said, man, I know a person, right? And I'm gonna look out. I'm gonna look out for my son, right? I'm in a business. I'm in business, bro. Most of my business associates' parents had a business, and either put them on or put them in it. That's just that's normal shit. We don't have that historical. We don't have that legacy, that historical legacy of somebody above us, right? Up the familial tree, right? And I'm not saying somebody above you from a rank perspective, but your father, your grandfather, your whatever, that said, hey, this is what we do, and his son did it, and now you need to do it too. We don't have that, right? I've got a associate, Indian lady, that's a lawyer. She's like, my parents damn near disown me because we're supposed to be doctors. You know what I'm saying? Like they shitty because she's a lawyer, but I'm like, That's a high paying ass, lucrative ass career. But they like, nah, we doctors. That's what we do. Like
Yeah,
we don't do
it's
that.
bigger than us, and that's what culture is, right? Like that's why I don't agree with the sentiment of like, allowing our children just to be who whatever they want to be because they're not operating from just what they think. They are operating from whatever system they're in, whatever ideas has been pumped into there. They're being programmed. So when you have a culture though, they understand what their values are and they have a value system. And so when a doctor versus a lawyer, I think from a cultural standpoint, you would understand why a family would say, "I'd rather you be a doctor than a lawyer." You know what I mean?
Right, right.
I get it. I'm not saying that parents always know what's best, but what I'm talking, I don't think it's about parents. I think it's about a value system that they come from, and that's what culture is. That's what healthy culture is about. I don't see other cultures complaining about the direction that their families sent them. A lot of them be proud to be like,
Right.
if they build something like they already know that's been nurtured that they are going to take this over and grow this. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't think we see ourselves as producers and manufacturers and owners. We just see ourselves as workers.
I mean, there's a stereotype like Asians are good at math. You know why? Because their parents don't be letting them bullshit. They own them. Math is important, right? A lot of them are in accounting and shit like that, right? That shit matters,
But we
right?
good at math too. We
But
just
nobody's forcing us to use it.
I,
Nobody's forcing us down
we
that
just use
path.
it the wrong way, right? We
True
chemists,
that.
right? But we just we
True
and
that.
we ain't the only ones though. I'm just saying that I'm just talking from a
Right.
cultural standpoint, from who I know. Like I don't rock with other cultures in that way to know what they dysfunction is about or what they into. But
Right.
I'm
Right.
saying for us, I mean, if you can cook dope, you a chemist.
Right.
I
Right.
mean,
You've
that's just
taken
you know.
science to a motherfucking different level.
I mean, it just
You're
that's the
using
reality.
chemicals and understanding the interactions between chemicals and how to take something from a powder form to a solid from a liquid. Right. The motherfuckers is
it's
doing
it's
shit.
it's just I'm saying it's a level of but I mean if you watched I've watched our children play if you watch our children play with toys innocently,
They learn.
you will see the brilliance in them. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? Like we all are super brilliant. I mean, but I know a lot of us who have landscaping companies and have like that are actively building. Like if you build I know those of us who have their own stores and things like that.
Right.
So
Right.
I'm saying that, but I don't even think that collectively we see ourselves on a corporate level. I
We
think we
don't see enough of us doing it. And a part of that, I think, is when we get success, we leave, we move our families to areas that are safer, right?
yeah,
Which
yeah,
is our obligation and our responsibility,
yeah.
right? You foolish to not, right? Because let's keep it real. You can't keep a lot of nice shit in the hood. Somebody gonna get jealous.
Yeah, I think that see, I don't think it's nothing wrong with moving your family to a safer environment. I think it's something wrong with assuming that the safest place is around white people.
I never said that,
No, no,
right?
I ain't saying you do. I'm saying that's
So,
where we go wrong as a culture.
bro, I remember when I went to Atlanta for the first time, I was motherfucking impressed, right? So I went to Atlanta. Shit, it was a long ass time ago. I went downtown Atlanta, and I'm like, man, everybody look like me. This shit is cool. Suits and ties, and everybody's dressed up. I'm downtown, and you know what I'm saying. I'm like, it's lunchtime. Everybody's in business shit, right? I'm like, this was shit, 25 years ago, some shit like that. Culture shock for me. I'm like, I've never seen this. I'm going into the big houses, and everybody got a big house look like me. I'm like, this shit is dope.
And it's still like that.
Right, and it's still like that, right? And I'm like, this shit is dope, bro. I went with my brother. We we in the clubs and shit. I remember, bro. I thought I was again. This is that Midwest mentality. I'm in the club. I step on his brother's shoes. I'm like, I gotta fight. Right, that's the first thing came to my mind. I'm like, I don't want to fight, but I gotta fight. And motherfucker looked at me and like, hey, my bad, bro. And bro, I'm like, what the fuck, right? It was the exact opposite of what I was used to. But so I know, right, that shit is amazing, right? It exists. It's not heavy in the Midwest, right? It's not, right?
You
It's
know,
not.
some place that it actually does exist, and people don't really realize it, and it is still a level of poverty that exists within that culture. But in places like New Orleans,
Yep.
like it really exists. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
it's just they got their. I ain't gonna speak on their culture because I don't know enough about it, but I've been there enough to know that like black enterprise really exists.
absolutely.
And it's other places. Most places where we are at, um, it's just outside. It's just when we not in these, it's in our area, like these, like in the Midwest, it's definitely not a lot of us. It's not collectively.
You know,
Uh,
I got a lot of family in New Orleans, so that's where my mom's side of the family's from. A ton of family, right? We go down there, and shit is beautiful, right? We go all the places, and shit is great. Now, obviously, you got some problems in that motherfucker, right? But you go around, you see black business owners, you see, black executives, you see black office workers. You know what I'm saying? People who are just not what we associate with the traditional shit that we do up here. The shit's beautiful, right? And it's just I don't think we see enough of it here because population wise, there's not enough of us. We don't congregate in the right areas in the right ways, right? And what I mean by it is there. I can't tell you, and I've been in South Bend area damn near my whole life. I can't tell you the nice black neighborhood, like you know what I'm saying. Where like in Atlanta, you can just pop up damn near anywhere,
there
right?
there is no nice black neighborhood in
That's
South Bend.
what I'm saying, bro. Like I don't see it. Like so we don't. I think if you grow up in an area where you seeing shit like that, then it's more reality, right? And that's probably why Atlanta has continued. Now, don't get me wrong, there's some shit we do that we gotta, you know what I'm saying? The sexuality in Atlanta is crazy, right? Because that's our shit,
Yeah,
right?
it's like
But
that in Chicago too. A lot of that.
right,
Yeah,
but they grow up seeing, like if you took some kids that had never been out of Atlanta to some of these hoods, right? They'd be like, man, why the fuck y'all living like this? Y'all want to be like this,
yeah,
right? So I
yeah.
think it's that we don't see enough. Right, I can tell you, I don't remember. I was probably grown when I saw my first black doctor, actually like medical doctor. We had Dr. Cohen as a, you know what I'm saying, as a principal, right, at Washington High School. But when I first saw my first medical black, so-called black medical doctor, I was probably grown, right? And that's crazy, right? Granted, I had no reason to see no attorneys, right? But I knew a couple growing up, but they were dirty, right? Because they came from the streets, right? And they got the money, right? Did the right shit and then fucked with the wrong people. But like I didn't see a lot of that shit, but I did, have a father who was he served time in the military, had a professional job. So that was my like, okay, I know it's capable, I know it's possible, right? I'm being fed information, good information on what to do. I'm making stupid ass decisions, right? I got all the info, right? I'm making stupid ass decisions. So I don't know, bro. I don't know. I don't know what to do with us. I don't know how to fix this shit, right? Like I personally, I'm uncomfortable if it's too many black folk in this area. I go to Atlanta,
Hmm.
I'm straight because I
Hmm.
know somebody finna fuck it up. I don't know who. It could be 10,000 people. It only take 2 people to fuck it up because somebody got to show out, bro. Right? Somebody like
You saying this as just like in South Bend or
I'm
just
saying
in this
South Bend because this is where I'm at.
in
Right?
this region?
It's the Midwest region, right? I mean, I go to
Yeah.
Atlanta, I'm cool, right? I'm in Atlanta Friday, right? I'm fucking with everybody. I'm cool, right? South Bend, and it's the places we congregate. Motherfuckers on Johnson Street 2, 3 in the morning. I ain't doing it, fam. I ain't doing it. Right? The after hour spot. I'm like, y'all ain't learned nothing yet.
Nah, but it's been like that.
I'm just saying we don't fucking learn.
That's why I mean we don't really. I don't. Once again, I don't think that we really see ourselves in that light. When you look at the leadership, the landscape of the leadership in an area in a city like South Bend, as it relates, like I'm talking about black leadership.
Right, right.
I mean, if you actually went and looked at the history of the so-called black leaders, y'all see the reality of why the city is in the shape, the culture is in the shape that it's in. We've sold ourselves out, over decades, and that's not just in South Bend, but I'm
Right,
just
right, right.
saying I know that's happening, and I'm talking about even from a modern standpoint, the people they'll dangle these carrots in front of these Negroes, and I'm telling you, these niggas is going,
Bro, I was
they
having a
going.
conversation with somebody, was it Friday? It was Friday. And he's telling me about this program that helps at-risk kids, kids that are like on the verge of They don't know where they're gonna sleep tonight. They don't know where to eat tonight. It's in Fort Wayne. It's in Hammond. It's in Elkhart. I was like, man, y'all got one in South Bend? He was like, nah, the politics too crazy, right? And these are kids who are on drugs or in the streets, kids who would have had guns, kids whose parents were on shit. He was like, man, we want one of these in South Bend so bad. He said, but the politics won't allow it. And I'm like, bro, it's a lot of us in politics in South Bend,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
To the point where me and this person has we have a professional relationship, but he knows because we had this conversation because he's talked to me a couple times. He's like, man, he helps out a lot of people in rough situations. He's been blessed financially, extremely blessed. You wouldn't know it. A little small farmhouse dude with probably a 2010 car. He would sold a business for over 30 million. Right? He's blessed, but you wouldn't know it by looking at him. So he gives back, and so we've had these conversations. And I told him, I said, listen, man, I'm from this. I've done some streets. If you need me to talk to somebody, right, as an example of how we can do something different, let me know. And he was like, man, absolutely. I'm like, tell me you got something in South Bend. I'm here. He's like, man, South Bend we won't do it, right? They just won't do it. I think you're right. We have some people who look like us in positions of power who don't want what's good for us.
No,
Right.
they I'm telling you, they paid off. I'm telling you.
If I continue to tell you I'm going to do something for you, you'll continue to put me in a position to do it. I'm never going to do it, right?
I'm saying, look, what is the last thing that's literally been done for the so-called black community in South Bend? Like, no, this is specific. This is a big deal, and this is specifically an effort for this
Bro,
group of people.
I don't know.
It's never happened. It's not going
the
to happen.
biggest shit we've ever done is had some marches, bro. Right? Motherfuckers will
Yeah,
organize some.
no, I'm talking about built, like
Bro,
actually
nothing.
building something. Right. That's what I'm saying.
Nothing.
There's a reason for that. It's not that the money is not there. A lot of you got Notre Dame in South Bend.
Money's
What are
here,
you talking
bro.
about? Money,
I can tell you the
I
money.
thought
is fucking
billions
here.
of dollars is there. Comes through
The
that
money is
motherfucker.
here.
Yeah.
Right?
So,
We have places in South Bend that are for sale, houses for over $1 million. Right? We have condos and shit all over the place, starting at 600,000-700,000. We have houses
Plenty
built,
of money.
which used to be in the hood. They just took the hood away. That are 500,000-600,000.
and put
It's
all
there,
you niggas in apartments.
man. Right? It's crazy. This motherfucker's paying $2,000 a month for rent. I'm like, bro, you probably can invest that. Right? Partner up with some motherfuckers. Right? You might have to sleep on a couple couches for 2-3 years. You single with no kids. Right? Invest that $2,000-3,000. If 4 or 5 of y'all doing it, right? Put a plan together. Don't just waste it. Right? Know what the fuck you doing. We don't want to live within our means. We don't even want to live normally. We gotta excel, right? And I'm probably a little more judgmental in this aspect because I'm at the point where hey, $50 is my max on a pair of shoes, right? But I'm hard on shoes. It's foolish for me to go spend $200 on a fucking pair of shoes that I'm gonna tear up, right? I've never took my shoe off and put a toothbrush on that motherfucking clean. I'm not that's what I am. I'm not that dude, right? So I know what I'm gonna do. So I'm not gonna go out and be foolish with this. But I've got homies who will put in overtime to get a specific pair of shoes to wear so they can shine. I'm like, bro, you work 15 hours to try to shine. It's a Nike, bro. You ain't the only one with it. You know what I'm saying? I had a homie, man. One of my white homies hit me up. He's like, man, you know anybody that's really big into sneakers, this and the other? I'm like, nah, I'm not. I said, I know some people. Why? What's up? He said, bro, I bought some shoes because I thought they were cool some years ago. He got the Back to the Future shoes, right? You know what I'm talking about? The little,
yeah.
Right? He was like, man, I was telling one of the young guys that work with me. He was like, man, them things are worth thousands. He's like, man, I ain't know that shit. I bought this shit because it was cool, right? And I'm just like, I know some motherfuckers spending thousands of dollars on shoes every fucking month, bro.
Yeah.
Right? And it's crazy. And again, I'm not knocking the hustle, right? But I'm like, that's a risky ass move, right? To invest, because you have to find somebody that sees the value in that shit like you do, and all it takes is a scuff mark. You know what I'm saying? And you out the game. But we shine. I remember going to the mall with a cat when we was in the streets, and bro's like, we went to the store and bro spent some crazy money on socks, bro. And I'm just like, God damn, bro. Like you buying socks that's $15, $20 a pair. Like what the fuck they do? Oh, I gotta have this shit. I'm the man. I'm like, you could be the man, bro. That's a foolish ass move. Right? Now, bro still in the streets and still in the same neighborhood and it ain't leveled up in 30 fucking years. Right? But his spending habits are exactly the same. And I'm not gonna sit here and pretend I don't got some stupid ass spending habits because I'm guilty of it too. right? We all are to a certain extent. I buy some
Yeah.
dumb shit,
Yeah, for sure.
but I'm not. I'm not gonna let my spending habits put me in a predicament where my family suffers.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And if I got to that point, I need to seek help, and I'm not against it, right? I'm like, hey man, listen, I'm fucking up. Somebody guide me. Right?
Yeah.
Somebody's better than me at this, right? I'm okay with learning,
Yeah,
right? And I don't know, man. We suffer from that shit, bro. I just don't know, right? And I just I'm gonna shut it down a little early because some shit I want to get off my chest, but if I say
yeah,
the shit,
yeah.
it's gonna start a
Yeah.
shit storm.
For sure, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
it's just the craziness of some of the shit we justify, and then we do, and I'm just like, God damn, how did we get here? Right? I can look at a lot of fucked up situations. I've been in places, bro. And I say this, I've been places God won't go. I've been in places where like kids are born in poverty and starving and sickness and shit. And I'm just like, and they still are higher spirits. Right? The violence ain't there. Right? You go to the poorest American cities, and I don't care what color you look at, it's uncomfortable. It's violence. It's some problems. I've been in countries where motherfucker whole country poor and everybody's still happy down there. Right? And I'm just like, man, what is it? When it come from the top, obviously, right? Government down, right? Because I can go 3.5 hours north, cross the border, and all the shit changed. Right? Same slab of land, right? Same type of people, but yeah, bro, this shit is crazy, man. Listen, I'm gonna end this one a little early because I want to fuck with you on some shit.
Let's do it.
So,
Let's do it. Let's
all
do
right,
it.
hey, for anybody checking this out, we appreciate y'all, man.